Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Player First podcast with your co-host, myself, Coach Fernando, and Coach Leo, all the way in London, UK. Coach Leo, how are you doing today?
Coach Fernando, always a pleasure to spend some time with you. I am very, very well. We are in the heart of the winter season, still in lockdown, but looking forward and looking forward to the next couple of weeks, which hopefully we get some more news on the lockdown here in London and we can get back out onto the field. Fingers crossed. But all is well on this side.
Cool. Good to hear, man. So talking about lockdown, today we want to talk about how to help players, continue to stay active during this time, continue to train, continue to work. I think it's very easy during this time for players to not do much, to lose out on, maybe some of the games that they've had in the fall time. Now with lockdown looming or lockdown in England and here it may be coming, who knows? It's tough for kids to just stay more active. So, what are some ways that we can help kids be a little more active?
Yeah, so obviously the winter is a very different time of the year to the summer for obvious reasons. Not only is just the weather a bit different, it's colder, it's wetter, but everything sort of starts to shut down a little bit. Even this is pre-COVID. So pre-COVID, in the winter time, we tend to stay more indoors. I know you do winter training indoors. So things start to shut down a bit more, it starts to slow down, but there are ways, and what we're going to talk about today are ways that players can continue to train during these winter months, so they can stay consistent to their training, and really so they can stay ahead of their teammates, right? Their teammates, their competition. And I know you, Coach Fernando, are a massive trainer. You're a very active coach, always training, always running. So the advice you can give to players today will be of value.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, one of the first things that kids can realize and parents can realize out there is that you don't need any like fancy equipment or fancy field or, access to things or even access to your team. You can just be staying active at home, finding an area within your house that can become the exercise room or the exercise area where it's a dedicated space to just working out, staying active, and doing simple things. It doesn't have to be crazy complicated. Of course, there's plenty of stuff that you could find on online and YouTube and all that, but it's even sticking to basic stuff like push-ups. One of the things that I do all the time is just push-ups, squats, lunges, planks, simple core exercises that you can do at home. Find just simple body weight movements. Just stay active, stay strong. It doesn't have to be complicated. Would be my first insight, I guess.
Yeah, that's a great point. I know for me personally, I've got like a little conservatory at the back, so I've turned that into like my workout area. That was actually, it turned into a workout area when we were in lockdown, the first one, and we were doing online training. And then from then on, I sort of dedicated that space of the house just to doing my workouts there. So, it doesn't require a lot of room. Okay. If you live in a very small house, like the majority of us live here in London, okay, maybe, just move a couple of things around in one room and leave some space for maybe 15, 20 minutes where you can do, as you said, you can do some squats, some plank work, sit-ups, push-ups, any sort of things that don't require equipment. They don't require a lot of space, and that can be done basically in any sort of room. So that's definitely one, well, the first tip that we want to share with you guys, that you can still carry on exercise, even if it's snowing, even if it's raining outside and it's cold, you don't want to go outside like the majority of the time here. You know, you can still stay active inside, okay? And it doesn't require expensive equipment, doesn't require a gym membership, just requires a little bit of effort to move some furniture around, some space, and a commitment to exercise.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. It's just finding a little bit of space and even joining in with your kids at home, you know, joining in with your kids, making it into an activity that you guys do daily or weekly or whatever it is. But just again, just finding a space in your house. You know, personally, I just go outside in my backyard. So, you know, even if it's cold out, I just bundle up. I personally don't mind the cold, so that works for me. You know, if that works for you, that's great too. So, yeah, what, you know, that'd be number one thing that I would say out there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so the second one is, if you are a type of player like Coach Fernando, who's really brave and likes the cold weather, my second piece of advice would be train outside, continue training. All right. Training in cold weather actually helps with your cardio. But mix it up. Maybe do one session on soft surface, which would be like grass. So maybe take some cones out, a ball, put on your soccer cleats, your football boots, get out onto the pitch, onto the grass, and just do a bit of training, right? 15-20 minutes a day, training on soft surface. And then maybe the next day, if you don't want to get so muddy, find somewhere hard to do your training. So mixing it up.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's not that I like the cold weather. It's just that I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I can deal with it if I have to, but I'd prefer hot sunny days, trust me.
Excellent. So what type of training can we do, Coach Fernando, on harder surfaces then? What things?
Yeah, I mean, what, you know, training on either surface is great. You know, whatever you have access to. You know, whatever's in your local park, use that. If you have like a basketball court and like regular grass, you know, change it up, like you said, to do both. But I think you could take either training to either side. If you're going to do a lot of running and a lot of like ground impact type of work where you're constantly hitting the ground, I would definitely focus that on the grass. So, you know, things like sprint work, if you're trying to focus on getting faster, or if you're jumping a lot of changes of direction, things like that, I would focus on grass, because that's going to be better for your joints, just less impact on your body. If you're going to be on the hard surface, definitely a lot of foot skills. You know, that ball's going to move a lot quicker on the smooth surface. There's no grass to slow it down. So it's going to make you react quicker, and you're going to have to adjust over time. So changing that up, I think, can be very beneficial to players. And I think it's a great point.
That's awesome. Well said as well, Coach Fernando. Love that.
I try.
Awesome. Now the third point I would advise parents and players, especially in the winter months, is maybe try a different sport, right? Or try a different sport, but the training of a different sport. So I know when I was younger, and I still do, but I don't do it as often. I'm a massive admirer of boxing training. Now, don't put me in a ring to fight someone, because like that's
we don't want you getting hurt.
Yeah. I will get bruised up. But what I do like is the type of training boxers do. And I have a gym not too far from my house here in London, which is actually a boxing gym. And before this whole COVID, I used to go there with a close friend of mine, and we used to train. And we also had a trainer there that used to show us like some drills and stuff like that. So it was nice just to get away from the football environment and just try something different, because you'll be amazed how much similarities they are when you train different types of sports, and how much that if you train in one sport, you can also transfer that into soccer or football. So that's something I used to love about boxing, because it got me away from the usual. It was something that got me uncomfortable because we used to do sparring, and man, at the beginning was quite scary, like yeah, being attacked. But it was good, man. It was a great experience, and it just made me like a better person. And especially when I went to play on Thursdays with my friends, it got that fear away from like 50-50 challenges and stuff like that. And stuff like that I then can coach to my players. So what are types of, what else could you say on this, Coach Fernando?
Yeah. I think that's a great point. Just switching it up. I think us as coaches, we often want our players to be practicing, getting better, playing, going out, doing soccer all the time. And I think it gets very easy for players to get in that motion. I think obviously it depends on how old the players are. If they're much older, they're in their late teens, they're very focused on the game, and they're probably going to be doing a lot more soccer training specific. But there's nothing wrong with changing it up, even if you are that serious player, like you said, trying something new, because more times than not, there's always something that you can pick up from another sport and bring it into your sport. So it may not be the same rules, the same game, but there's always something that you can learn that you can take back to your game. So, but you'll never have that if you don't go out and experience those other sports, those other environments, those other things that are out there. So always just, I think that's a great point. Just encouraging players to go try new things. Don't be afraid to try something new, try something different, try a different way of training. It's a great point. And also there's a lot of like literature on just how to prevent injuries for young kids. And that's one of them. They say that athletes at younger ages that can play different sports, they develop just as a more well-rounded athlete, using their muscles, their body in different ways, different movement patterns. So it helps them stay even safer, so they say. So I think there's tons of benefits of trying new sports, new things, especially as they're younger. So if there's any parents out there watching, I encourage them to get outside with their kids and play something else that's not soccer, football. Go play basketball, baseball, whatever. Go introduce them to a new sport or something different that they haven't done before. Boxing, I think that was awesome. I love that. But we don't want you getting beat up, Coach Leo. So be careful with that. I've never tried boxing. I've always wanted to. So that's definitely something that I want to pick up one of these days. But yeah, great points.
Yeah, absolutely. And also it's something I learned from boxing as well, is that, and something I learned as well playing another sport, which is your favorite, golf, that we were talking about before we got into the show.
Oh God, golf. I'm not a golf fan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you don't, when you're so specialized in one sport, you don't really appreciate how difficult other sports are. Now, boxing is one example, but I'm going to grab golf as well. I'm going to talk about golf a little bit, because before I ever touched the golf club, I remember I used to watch golfers. I'm like, you can't be serious, man. These guys are getting paid to just swing and just hit that little ball. I thought it was really easy. Now, I remember the first time I went to like a golfing range and I went to swing and I realized how hard it was. Like, it's not easy. And that just got me to appreciate that, it's good to try new things. It's good to like actually try different sports and see right, this isn't actually as easy as it looks on television. You know, you watch Tiger Woods and he's like, he makes it look so easy, man. Like anyone can do it. But the first time I tried golf, that was the feeling I got. It was like, wow, like reality kicked. It's like, okay, these other sports that I'm trying that I've never tried before, I can learn so much from them. But you don't experience that unless you try other things. So it's more just improving your sport education than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Great points. Great points. And golf, yeah, I'm not. That's not my forte. I'm not the golf guy, but I do understand what you're saying. It does make you appreciate the sport better once you go out there and you try and you see how difficult it is. And I think a lot of people say that about about our sport, about soccer, football. Oh, you just kick a ball, right? Like how just kick it into the net. Like I've heard that before. And
You just run
it's
after a ball.
yeah, you just run after the ball. You just kick it. You just, it's easy, right? And it's funny how that usually comes from people that haven't played before or have limited experience that, don't know the game as much. So, yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. So, well, hopefully these tips that we've shared with you, I know Coach Fernando's wisdom always makes you a better person.
Oh, stop it.
So, if you have liked what you've seen in this episode, please give us a like, a comment, and also share this with someone that needs it. If you're watching it on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Isn't that right, Fernando?
Yes.
Give us a share, and we're going to leave all our links in the comment section. So if you want to get in contact with us and ask any specific question with regards to winter training, how to become a better player, how to become more confident, we are always here to help you and to make you not only a better athlete, but a better person as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Well said, Mr. Leo. We'll leave it there. Good stuff.
Good stuff. All right, Coach Fernando, it's been a pleasure. I will see you on the next one.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.